So we had the arms up, chin up, tongue up, arms down, chin down, tongue down. Expand, contract. So what are we contracting? The stomach muscles. When you pull the abdomen back, the stomach muscles back, the diaphragm moves somewhat upward, pushes more of the breath out. So the hips, shift your hips forward to the ball of your foot. Become flat on your foot when you're halfway down. Shift your hips back towards the heels. So it makes the whole spine connect. From your fingertips down to your toes. Let's do 3 more, and then we'll move on to the next one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, a little slower, a little bit deeper. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So at the end of most of the sets, I show you this splash, flick. We look up and to the left and then down, right? So this next one, the variation is going to be same thing here with the splash, but now reach up. If you can't reach up, then you still go back to the W. But try to reach up and then turn the spine. And then bring the ball down in front where you're square again. So the W-shaped one is just the neck turning. This one is the whole spine gently twists. Push the ball down. Splash, flick, look straight up. Push the ball down. So we're going to do this again a couple times. So here's the little splash at the bottom. We go from the W all the way up, like you're holding that ball, and then gently twist. You keep your toes, your knees, your hips in front, but the spine gently twists and then untwists as you push down. Same thing again. So if you can't lift your arms above your head, you're still doing the W, you're still trying to twist your spine. But reach for the ball if you can. Push the ball underwater. This one is pretty much the same. We look straight up. Bring the ball straight down, chin down. So if you keep your hips and knees somewhat bent, that'll keep your toes, your knees, and your hips forward. If you're too straight, when you go to turn your arms with your torso, sometimes your knees will twist with that. We don't want our knees to twist, right? So toes, knees, and hips stay straight. That's your anchor. Twist as far as you can comfortably for that big beach ball. And then untwist and push it in front. So this will be the finishing one with one more to the right. Inhale, exhale, and then straight up. Inhale, exhale. So that got the spine twisting, transverse. Anytime we go side to side, that's transverse. So a bunch of the other exercises we do now, it's about the spine going in the vertical plane. What's that one? The sagittal plane, right? So just like our first movement of Tai Chi, it's the same exercise. Arms up, go a little bit forward. Arms down, go a little bit back. So you see my feet again, shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider for stability, but toes and knees straight. None of this, no sideways stuff, straight. This is like I'm rolling that ball forward and then roll the ball back. So when I go forward and I shift my weight to the ball of my foot, my chin is up, my back arches. Arms down, chin down, my back slightly rounds. So there's that wave I'm talking about. That's pumping the spine. Consequently, the cerebral spinal fluid, right? So again, inhale. Arms are light as a feather. Exhale. Arms are heavy as lead. That's my perception. Nothing changed. The weight didn't change. It's how it feels to me. They're light as a feather, so they float, and now they're sinking like lead in a pool. Arch, and then round. Let's do a couple more. We're doing anywhere from 5 to 10 of each exercise. And what makes the difference is how much I'm talking and explaining it. So try not to talk too much with this stuff, right? So that's the first one, basically the first movement of Tai Chi, the opening and closing. Next one, same concept, but now we go to the sides. You still shift forward, arch your back, and then down. So now my arms are representing my lungs, like a ball filling with air, right? So if my arms are getting wider and wider, the ball's getting bigger and bigger, I'm breathing deeper. Arms come together, the ball gets smaller, squishing the breath, squish the diaphragm. Same thing with the ball of the foot. Shift your hips forward, chin up, inhale. Flat on your foot, back on the heel as you exhale. Inhale. Arms are light as a feather, heavy as lead. Inhale. Exhale. So if you have balance issues, you can start to like modulate this. You know, it's like, oh, I want to work on my balance. So what you do is you go even a little bit further up on the ball, almost like you feel like you need to take a step. And then on the way back, you lift your toes even more, so it almost feels like you need to take a step back. So you want to get right up to that point if you want to work on your balance. If you're afraid of your balance, then don't be doing that as much. If you're really confident with your balance, then you go a little bit farther. Yeah, see, that's exactly the feeling that you're getting. And then you catch yourself. And if you catch yourself, then you know you're doing what's right. You're working on your balance, and you caught yourself if you lose it. So if you never challenge your balance, it doesn't get better. If anything, it gets worse over time. All these little tools. So again, that was the Tai Chi one. I mixed it up here. This is the side-to-side one. It's like a bird rising. I know, I mixed it up. I went back to the other one, and everybody just went along with it. So the third one is going to switch gears a little bit. So the third one, we're going to go to our Tai Chi, kind of like the Chen style, where we go side to side with the horse stance, and it's the roll back. So you grab the ball. As you shift, you roll the ball to the side here, and then all the way up to the other side. So here's the concept of pushing your feet, shift your waist, and the arms come along at the end. And this gentle twist, some of you are going to feel it in your lower back or your neck or your shoulder. Feet, waist, arms at the end. So it's almost like this twist now, it's the potential energy of a spring, right? So you're wound up, you want to unwind to roll the ball, and you use that momentum to wind up on the other side. So I'm going to inhale at the front, exhale with the little twist. Inhale as you're untwisting your spine. Exhale as you twist the spine. These again are totally light, and now they're totally heavy. They become light, and then heavy. Again, it's my perception of how they feel. So there's a discrepancy between my hands right here. I want to get my hand underneath, so what I need to do is not arch my back, but I have to tuck my tailbone and dip my chin a little bit. Oh, now I get even more of a stretch across my neck and back and shoulders. Straighten up a little bit. As I come over to here, I make sure my chin dips, my tailbone tucks, and then I can reach across. Inhale. Exhale. If this is all fine, this foot turns. And you kind of squish the ball of your foot, and your hip rotates in a little bit, and your feet look like a T if you look down. So I go back to being square. I push my feet, my waist, I turn that hip, and now it's like my spine turns even easier, but I made up for it by doing this. If I kept my foot down, I'm more restricted again. So inhale, squish the bug with the ball of your foot, exhale. Inhale, exhale. All right, so let's keep going. So that's kind of a variation of roll back from Tai Chi. So this whole set has Tai Chi written all over it. This, by the way, is a real good hip exercise. You have issues with your hip, might bother some of you, or it might feel really good because you have tight hips, and that'll start to loosen up the hip joint a little bit. All right, so the next one is going to be here. We use the lines, find a line. Picture you're at a pool. You're going to dive into the pool. So you put your arms out to break the water. Otherwise, you do a face flop, right? So as I bend my knees, I put my rump, my rear end back into the chair. So my center of gravity is kind of stable and low right now. Then I raise my arms to about a 45-degree angle. Straighten the legs. Take your arms, bring them around, so kind of stretching out. Come behind, make fists, and try to put your fists wherever your kidneys would be. So my chin is down, I'm reaching up, a bit of a neck and shoulder exercise, and then I straighten up my chin. I tuck my tailbone, so I'm slouching, and the weight goes to my heels. All right, so that's the whole sequence. Put the rear end back, get ready to dive into a pool. So right about here, my lower back has an arch in it. And then I raise my arms. Straighten up your legs. Arms reach out and around. If you can't go high, then put them down lower. But if you can get up high, go by your kidneys. Tuck your tailbone, dip your chin, slouch. Shift the weight to your heels if you want to work on your balance. Yep, got to stagger a little bit, right? So that's the feeling. You're going to challenge your balance. So let's do a couple more. This will be inhale, and then this is exhale. Arms up, chin down, in, out. So let's do one more. Inhale. Arch your back. When you arch your back, it's kind of like a camel. Camel has an arch. And then when we round our back, it's like a turtle or a tortoise. It has a big bump on its back. All right, so the next one. Put your rear end back in the chair again. Let your hands slide down your thighs to your knees and try to look up. So you're going to see the first time you might not look up that high, but eventually we want to go higher and higher. Let your chin drop. Let your hands turn over. Let your shoulders drop. And take your lower back and push it the other way. Shift your hips a little bit side to side. And then stack the vertebrae from the lowest to the highest. We start it again. Palms up. Scoot your butt back. Chin up. As high as you can look up. And then the other direction. Round. Round your upper back as much as you can. If your upper back is round, the lower back will just be rounded. They kind of connect, right? Straighten up. One vertebrae at a time. Level off your neck at the top. So these all have fancy names. I can go over those at another time. We're just going through the set so you kind of get familiar with them. So again, there's that line at the edge of a pool. You don't want to fall in the pool, so you put your rear end behind you. Palms up, chin up. Oh, well, I can go a little higher than when we started. Arms down, chin down. I breathe out. Shift the weight from one leg to the other. Let your arms just dangle free. The weight of your arms are going to help stretch somewhat of the shoulders and the upper back and the neck. Stop shifting. Stack the vertebrae. All right, we're going to do one more of these, and then again, we'll move on. Sit back. Inhale. Palms up, chin up. Exhale. Chin down, palms down. Shift a little bit. Feel the tension release, whether it's your back, your legs, your neck, ankles, whatever's tight. Straighten up, breathe in again, and breathe out. Next one, reach out and up. Interlock your fingers. Get into the lounge lizard position like you're watching television, and try to stretch your arms back. your chest kind of forward, release, arms drop. You try to bring your elbows together. If you can, touch them, your forearms and your elbows. My back is kind of hunched over. Level out your arms. You straighten your spine, straighten your arms, straighten your legs. So remember at the beginning, I talked about the spine, everything about the spine, right? It's either arched or rounded. So here, I arch all the way to here. And then I release, and then I round. And then I straighten up, and now I'm kind of back to neutral. So like 3 positions of your back. Arched, like you're a band person playing an instrument, marching, soldier, whatever. Rounded, high school student, right? That's a high school student these days, right? And then there's just neutral, which is kind of a little bit in between. Any one of them over the course of your lifetime is not the best place to be. Each one will yield results over time. With our stuff, we're trying to go in and out of it during the duration of a class. When you go home, you don't want to be sitting like this all evening. You also don't want to be standing like this all evening. Have the ability to move in between. So let's do this one more time. Reach, arch, inhale. Stretch back, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And as always, that's just my pattern. If you need more breaths, take more breaths. If you can go as slow as I'm doing, fine. So we got one more, and then it'll be break time. So picture we're at the ball store, wherever you go to get your beach ball, right? Target, play it again, Sam, whatever. You get your beach ball. You're going to pick it up off the ground and bring it up so that it touches right in front of your navel. Touch the navel with the beach ball. When you bring it away from your body, you're slouching again. And then you dip your chin so as to bring the ball back again. So each time I'm going to bring it up higher, and I got to keep moving my head out of the way. So now I'm bringing it in front of my solar plexus, right below the sternum. So I arch, and then as I reach away with it, I round. How do I round my back? I dip my chin. Again, you can do little shifts if you like, feel a tension release. So the next one, roll the ball up in front of the heart. So I kind of got this like pulling with my arms back, and then bringing my arms forward with the rounding of my spine. Here's the ball again on the ground. This time I bring up in front of my chin. My head's in the way. I'm going to hit my face with the ball. So my chin's got to go all the way up to get the ball in front of my throat. And then again, I reach it out. My chin drops. My spine rounds. So again, roll it up. Get the head out of the way. So now I'm in front of my face. Round the spine. So each one of these is a breath, right? You're breathing in when we come up with the ball. Now we're just above the head. We breathe out when we roll the spine, squish the organs. There's my music telling me it's time to stop. Put the ball on the ceiling, like you're trying to touch all the way up. Make sure your hips and knees are bent, so as you reach forward, you still have some stability. All the way back. All right, we're going to stop my music. We're going to do it one more time, because you can't just do it one time, right? So again, it's like this oval shape if you look at my side. The first one is just the ball, circle, and then a little bit more of an oval. By the time we come up to the top here, it's an oval being stretched, right? So again, here, arch, and then round. That's the navel. Inhale, solar plexus. Exhale, roll your spine. Inhale, heart. Arms and fingers loose. Exhale. Throat. Exhale. In front of your face. Exhale. Just above your head. Exhale. The last one, I straighten my legs, straighten my arms. I try to touch the ball to the ceiling. But as I reach forward, I make sure the hips and knees bend a little bit. So I'm anchored And then to finish it, we straighten up, we splash, we flick, we go back to the W, push it down, splash, flick, chin up, and then down in front, slowest, deepest, straight up. Straight down. Lock your knees and elbows for a moment. Relax your knees and elbows. All right, quick review of the basic stuff. So we got feet together, shoulders relaxed. Basic is in the 5 directions. We got forward, which is also up. We have back, which is also down. We have moving to the left. We have moving to the right. We have stabilizing or centering, grounding in the center. So you got metal, wood, water, fire, earth. And those are the 5 elements as far as Eastern thought. They put everything into those 5 boxes, whether it's Taoism with traditional Chinese medicine, which this is kind of a branch of that, or Ayurveda in India. They have similar concepts with the elements. American Indians too. So you got this stuff here. This is light as a feather. Again, heavy like lead. You have this fluid motion, and then it just mirrors to the other side. And then we have stability in the center. So that gives us the concept of pushing being like a poking spear. That's metal. Pulling has tension like a wooden tree branch. This fluid motion is water. The direct opposite would be fire. And then earth. Okay, 5 directions. So this is all about footwork, where your center of gravity is at. We already did some of it in the first half. It comes out when we put the sequences together. So we also have here, turn 45 degrees with your feet, your toes, your knees. Scoot into what is cat stance, also called empty, because there's nothing in it. There's nothing there. It's just barely enough to touch. Nose and navel, sink down a little bit. Let your foot make a triangle from your left to your right. That made like a triangle shape. We have ward off. A bit of a splash. Shift your hips to roll back. Your spine is wound up, so you bump. As you unwind, you poke. You unwind, you press. Pull has a bit of a flick as your elbows drop. And there's a circle. You push the ball away, right? Turn. If your toes aren't on the corner, just cheat. Make them go on the corner. And now they split apart to get to bow stance. Catch the ball again. So we got ward off, roll back, shoulder, elbow press, pull, push, turn. If your feet aren't on the corner, just make them get on the corner. And then that would be split, that last one. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Time to turn with the split. Inhale, exhale. So one more time through, you got the philosophy or the theme of each one here. You got heaven, expanding, earth, contracting, grounding. You got the mountain, canyon at the bottom, water at the bottom of the canyon. Wooden tree branch, you let it snap. That's metal, sometimes fire, they overlap. Splitting is thunder. Finish it up, splash, flick. Push the ball underwater, splash, flick. Push the ball underwater, splash, flick. Push the ball underwater. So oftentimes when we finish those breaths, I say go from being relaxed with the stretch to that lock, and then immediately after, relax. It's contrast. If you don't know that you're tight, it's hard to relax. It's like, Steve, you got a lot of tension. You're like, no, I don't. And I'm like, yeah, but you're here with your shoulders up. And you're like, oh, and you try to raise them, and then you can drop them, and you're just like, oh, there's contrast. And then you can feel the difference. So if there's no contrast, and you're just always like this, or you're always like this, and you're so relaxed, you don't have any reference point in between that. Makes sense, right? So we got feet together, everything relaxed. Always starts the same as far as the opening and the closing. So now we shift, sink. This foot is doing cat stance, or sometimes I also refer to it as dot. Like when you just put your foot there, you're dotting. Hold the ball, draw back. Shift back. Now I'm in cat stance again. I squish the ball, and I do shoulder, elbow, wrist, and split. So there's our white crane spreads its wings, facing somewhat forward. Take your foot, go back forward into bow stance. The hand that's up brushes across your body once, it drops. Brush across your body twice, it drops. And now we set up for a brush knee. As you brush knee, your other hand pushes. Look at it from the side. My hand's about the same spot as my foot would be. None of this, no leaning, right? So back to the start. I'm just gonna keep adding on a step or two each time we do it. So there's my reference point, my line. Try to relax. Shift forward. Shift back and sink. Feet, waist, hands. Find your pulse. And then we do it again. Feet, waist, arms and hands to get us to the white crane spreads its wings. Now again, my foot goes to the right, left. So there's that triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now we're gonna go towards the kitchen. So I shift, turn my front foot, knee, and hip to the kitchen, cat stance. We're on an angle. Catch the ball. Bow stance with now shoulder, elbow, press. You're gonna see a lot of this shoulder, elbow, press, because that's again turning the spine quite a bit. From here, shift back, hold the teacup. Pinch into the bird, turn, and here's the split we just did about 5 minutes ago. Sink your hips, sink your shoulders. Hands over my foot, elbows over my knee, shoulders over my waist. Very seldom will we be doing this, where you're hunched over. All right, let's try it again. Adding a little bit each time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. All right? So most of the things we've just done, you've seen before in a different order. Now my feet come together. I place them on the corner, split into cat stance. The hands now do another brush across, and then strum the guitar. Other hands by the inside of your elbow. I got the weight on my back leg. I try to lift and point down, touch the toes, touch the heel. Back to the start. Roll the ball forward, roll the ball back. Catch the ball. Squish the ball, turn the ball, split the ball. Push it away. Ball's on the ground, roll it, push it. Catch the ball. Again, circle and push it away here. Hold the teacup, split. Feet together. Apart, push the ball, flick the ball, try to balance, set. All right, the next part is very repetitive. There's 5 parts to it. It's 1, shift to the right, 2, shift to the left, 3, 4, 5. That's a whole set. We do that 3 times. So we come back to the front, whatever side the hand is, there's where my weight goes. And then I replace it with a chop, turn, cat stance, another shoulder, elbow, wrist. So really what it is, it's like 5 times or 4 times we do a back twist, right? So if you need to adjust and move up, we do it again, very repetitive. Chop, turn, shoulder, elbow, wrist. So that was 3. And then we do one more block, one more chop, and now it changes. Cat stance, there's something on the ground, you're gonna pick it up into a fist, you make your hip, and your toe and knee go with your hand. And then it's block, and then it's punch. So it's block, parry, punch, which we did last month in a different sequence. So let's just do that last part again. Say we just finished here. We do another in block, replace it with a chop. Turn your toes, cat stance, scoop, turn, block, parry, punch towards your heart. Just like straight out from your heart, and the other hand's by your elbow again. All right, now let's try the whole thing again. I know nobody has questions because nobody threw anything at me. Nobody said, Jim, stop, I can't see your hands. So I'm assuming everybody's doing well, right? If you do have a question, you can't see something, please let me know. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. All right, so now these are kind of like back and shoulder exercises. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. It's 3 times of that whole set. In. Out. In. Out. After the 3rd time, we do one more block, one more chop, and then block, parry, punch. All right, now we got to keep going. So I need to go this way towards the left. So I'm going to shift back, turn my right hip, put the weight on that leg as I shift forward, and then this leg kind of catches up. Now we got cat stance again. And now here's our 8. Ward off, roll back, shoulder, elbow, wrist, pull, push. Number 8 goes to the front, I dot, just like at the very beginning, and I cross. Relax and sink. All right, so I'm gonna back up a step or 2. We're gonna take it from this last chop. Block, parry, punch. I gotta get my left foot all the way over here. Now we do our 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now again, sink, I draw it back, there's bow stance. As I shift my weight, this left arm does another brush block with a fist. And then I come forward, do the other side. A little twist at the end. Make a circle, split the circle, rotate your wrists, and put one above your head, give you the side view, one above your knee. So really that's kind of like the white crane spreads its wings, it's just another variation of how we do it, and it's called ride the tiger. All right, so let's try it again from the very beginning. A lot going on, right? In, out. But almost everything we've already done in our other set of Yang 24, except for a few things. In, out, in, out, in, out, in. Relax your shoulders, sink your hips. That should be like on every step. In, out, in, out, in, out. Drop your elbow, relax your shoulders. Breathe out. In, out, in, out. It says 3, in black, chop, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So this is a little different, right? This block, in, out, in, out. So that's all a little different. So now I'm going to relax my arm, drop it, turn your front hip, your toes, your knee, your hip, turn towards the back door over here. What's this, the maintenance room? And then this arm and leg catch up. We have arching, and then dip your chin, tuck your tailbone, rounding. And that's our classic Bagua, B-A-G-U-A stance. Pull your wrists back, shoulders relax and go a little bit forward. Then this foot comes over, we get cat stance again. We do kind of like strum the guitar again, but this time we make a fist. You put a fist under your elbow. And then we try to, again, balance, touch, touch. So just the difference between your hand being by your elbow or your fist being by your elbow might be another extra inch or two of stretch of the spine, the shoulder. So it's all different tweaks and adjustments just to kind of keep making the body move different ways, right? So we did get drawn a little bit to the left. So I'm going to move a little bit more to the right. We'll eventually come back anyway, though. Inhale. Feel the waves. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Always get the feet in the right spot first. Sink your hips so you're stable. The arms come along at the end. In. Out. In. Out. In, out, in, out. So every time we do this, we're rubbing, creating friction on the sides of our ribs. And those are the gallbladder and liver meridians. Inhale, exhale. In, out. Every time we touch here, this is the lung, the pericardium, and the heart meridians that are on the inside of the wrist. In black, chop, shoulder, elbow, wrist. All right, back, in black, chop, in, out. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Left side, right side. Arch, slightly round. Toes to the corner, strum the guitar, balance if you can, fist under elbow. So that's as far as we will go today. We're gonna do it one more time through, a little slower, and that'll be a wrap for today. This will be the Yang 48. We just did like maybe the first 15 exercises of it, and a bunch of them repeated. So one more time through, a little slower. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. So we just do this one side to side each time, but it's actually continuing to walk like diagonally. If we kept walking, I'd end up on the stage after doing it the 3 times back and forth. So that's why I just have everybody doing it side to side. To here. In, out, 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 in, out. Finish it up, splash, W, and then down, splash, W, down, or if you can, like at the very beginning, reach up and down, nice and smooth, slow, deep breaths, down, last one straight up. Straight down, lock your knees and elbows for a second, relax your knees and elbows. And that's it. That's the Yang 48. Enjoy, be well, be safe. We'll do the same thing on Monday. We'll add a little bit more.